Okay, it's time to go back into the museum, and we are now entering the We will be entering the Gods and Religious Items room exhibit. At least once I get this started.
Select a name from the register.
Now, I've said that this room is part of the museum that if you were to take the secret passages and avoid trying to figure out the shaman riddle, the shaman drums puzzle, you'd be missing out on this area, which will have at least one part of an Exupi vessel as well as something that will come into play later. But first, let's have Rod.
No tribute pleases an angry god better than a blood sacrifice. Fortunately for man, there are benevolent as well as vengeful gods.
Yeah, there were a lot of bloodthirsty ones out there. This wood statue is known to hold the wood Exupi from time to time. The Fisherman's Canoe God, the TE, or wooden icon of the Fisherman God, has his own special house on one of the Austral Islands in the Pacific. To ensure plentiful fishing and smooth waters, the god demands animal and human sacrifice from the fishermen. And I believe that's a stone Buddha right there. Don't know who this double-headed snake is. What do we have here? No skeleton. Mayan gods. The Mayan assigned gods to everything. Political strategies and social events were based on the idea that time was sacred and even days and months were assigned their own god. Each day, hundreds of gods influenced Mayan life. And if they demanded a blood sacrifice every day, it's amazing how the Mayans lasted so long. Now, this is Thor. That's not a very impressive hammer, I'll tell you that. That is definitely not Mjolnir. This is important too at some point. Thor. Thor was the Norse god of thunder and lightning. He was the oldest and most powerful son of Odin, king of the gods. Lightning was created when he threw his hammer and main weapon, Mjolnir. Thunder was the rumbling of his chariot as it moved across the sky. Looks nothing like Thor in the movies. And we have our skull dial. So we need a flashlight.
Care to refresh your memory?
Always. Two-headed Celtic god. And this is where some people don't do their research. But it's supposed to be red, so let's first look. No. No button there. Scratch that idea then. Yellow. Red. Okay, lock it in. And Celtic Janus sculpture. This two-headed sculpture depicts a god looking forward into the underworld and backward into the realm of the living. The horse, sacred to the war god, shares his vision. From what I know, Janus was Roman, not Celtic. So that's a mistake they've made. Let's go. What do we have here? Okay. Yeah, looks like we got the Pantheon here. If that's holding wheat there, that would be Demeter. That's lightning bolt, that's Zeus. Or if you want to think of it in Roman terms, Ceres and Jupiter. We have the Egyptian pharaohs. Nothing of interest lyre. The Sumerian lyre. Music is essential to ritualistic worship of the gods. Before plucking the strings of this lyre, musicians must purify themselves by bathing and fasting. You want to know something? This lyre is one of many types. Let's first look here. Sumerian bull god On. On is the source of rain, and his bellowing is said to be the thunder of the overcast sky. His name means sky, and it was On who chose the new king. The purpose of the cavity in this statue is unknown, but it might have been to offer items to the bull god. And there is an item in that statue. How do we get it? Not by this, but by this. Ten times. This is one of the most annoying things that the gamer programmers and makers have ever had to deal with. And it is the follow the leader music game. This is used often in many games. I think the longest one I can recall is in Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. And it's when you get all the frogs together. Okay. This is a frustrating one, and I tried to do this playthrough on tablet because someone had developed an app that allows you to play Shivers on Android tablets. However, what they did was because I guess of the size of a tablet screen and that, they included little numbers to touch for each string. Each string. 8 strings. So, let's start this. And the chain gets longer and longer. So, we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 at the very last one. Here we go. This will get frustrating. And make one mistake, and you start right back at the beginning. 8, 1, 3. Thankfully, you have time to click each one. 8, 1, 3. Light. 8, 1, 3, 4. It's random each time. Oh, and yes, it is quite possible to have to pluck the same chord 2 times in a row. One, 3, 4, 5, 3, 1. Just so you know, you're looking at a long chain that could be up to, there are like 8 to the 12th power combinations. 3, 4, 5, 3, 1, 4. We haven't plucked 2, 6, or 7 yet. 8, 1, 3, 4, 5, 3, 1, 4. 8, 1, 3, 4, 5, 3, 1, 4, 7. Oh boy. 8, 1, 3, 4, 5, 3, 1, 4, 7. 3 more to go. 8, 1, 3, 4, 5, 3, 1, 4, 7, 1. Okay. 8, 1, 3, 4, 5, 3, 1, 4, 7, 1. Yes! 8, 1, 3, 4, 5, 3, 1, 4, 7, 1, 4. Okay. Well, I can tell you something right now. We might have only 6 strings used or only 7 strings used, but we are not having all 8 used. Because 2 and 6 have yet to be plucked. 8, 1, 3, 4, 5, 3, 1, 4, 7, 1, 4. 1, 3, 4, 5, 3, 1, 4, 7, 1, 4, 1. Now I could be a real bastard and click the wrong string, showing you that when you click the wrong string they all go blah, 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 and you have to start all the way back over. I'm not going to be a bastard. 1, 3, 4, 5, 3, 1, 4, 7, 1, 4, 1. That was a nice one. And we have another pot. What pot do we have here? We have... Come on. We have found the wax pot. You know, we have mostly found the pots. Go back in there. Alrighty. But as you can have now seen, that's a very time-consuming one here. 7, 2, 3. So, I just hit start again, just to show you if we hit the wrong chords. It was 7, 2, 3, and I hit 5. And you have to start all over. So, and of course the wax one's there, so. Alright, next is this door. Red door, you remember? It's in Beth's notebook. The door before you opens not until Shuen, a Mayan day god, trickster and co-creator of higher life, is revealed. And this is a Pentomino's puzzle. Yay! Actually, as puzzles go, it's not that bad. You can rotate the pieces and put them in place. In case you didn't know, there is actually 2 types of pentomino. There's 12 types of pentomino pieces out there. And your job is, of course, to put this in the proper order so it makes the picture. No, I don't want. And if you remember what Beth's book looked like, that's your symbol that you're going by. I am currently relying on memory right now. Which, when it comes to this puzzle, is pretty remarkable. I remember this one. And you have to put each piece in, keeping in mind that they're all going to go in a certain place and be part of the puzzle. They're not going to be lined up proper. Could be up here. So you have to be very careful when you put things together. No, that's not going to fit there. I think that goes up there somewhere. I think. Ah, that goes there, and then that moves down, and that moves down. Ah, that makes sense. Be a real smart feller. Okay, let's see. Let's go here. Yeah, that goes there. That fits. Where would this go? Up here, maybe? Or just along the side? That's a tough call. Yeah, I think that fits. So now we have a... Yeah, that fits right there. And that goes right there. Oh, that fits. That fit there? That could fit there, yeah. Looks right. That fits. And does that fit? That fits. That gonna fit there? No, it don't look right. Fit here, maybe? Maybe. Tough call. Or, that makes sense. And will this make sense here? Looks it. Let's see. Could be That fits. Okay. That's a tough call there. But that's equally tough. No, that fits. Ah, that fits right there. Let's see. No. But yes. May we? That could be right. Yes, that is right. That's the right path. And we have opened the door. Now, the door cannot be opened from the other side. Tried it once. Because if that puzzle's not complete, you cannot open that door. And this is still part of... There's an exuvian here. But where? Ah, we have found Merrick's book bag. Or Beth, I think it's Merrick's. Ancient Astrology by John Maker. To my greatest fan, Merrick Campbell. John Maker, 1978. Sir Hubert Winlout wrote a startling paper, as of 1938, and he reported that pyramids similar in size and construction to the Great Pyramids of Egypt were built in parts of the world by civilizations that had never had contact with each other. The paper was widely respected at first, but later, as he lectured and wrote articles in scientific journals, he claimed that extraterrestrial beings had inspired the construction of these buildings. He went so far as to suggest that the monuments were gigantic stone signs built around the world to signal the gods or extraterrestrial beings. This author neither supports nor denies Windelout's point of view, but rather reports it as another theory. As lost civilizations are uncovered and ancient writings deciphered, more mysteries are revealed every year, and the theories that explain them multiply. Recently, an increasing number of scientists have at least considered theories similar to Sir Windelout's. In the past 10 years, 319 books and over 100,000 articles have been written addressing the subject. Some support and some criticize. A society called the Ancient Astronaut Society was formed exclusively to prove the hypothesis that astronauts from another world are the explanation to most of the mysteries of the past. Yeah, and it would. The theory has been very popular, and it does make some sense. Let's look at these pictures. They found a machine of some sort. Wonder what it is. And that is in the room we were just in, I think. From the workshop. And here you're looking at a pre-cell phone selfie. So even in the times that we didn't have... there's a button here.
Plato first coined the word mythologia, or the telling of stories. Fictional or historical, myths are a universal creation. They attempt to explain the unexplainable, the world, God, monsters, man's very existence itself, and death.
Okay, so we're now in the mythology and legends part of the exhibit. African creation myth. God was angry at Anansi, the spider, for his latest prank. To punish him, God told Anansi to bring him the items he was thinking about. Through trickery, Anansi learned that God was thinking about darkness, the the moon, and the sun, Anansi tricked Gila Monster into showing him where they were. Bringing the items to God in a bag, Anansi first threw out darkness. Then he threw out the moon. And finally, the sun, momentarily blinding God and allowing Anansi to get away. This music box celebrates how the moon and sun came to be in the sky. Now you see, that wouldn't have worked if we had not chosen the right music in the music box in the tower. And what do we have here? Ah, we have found the tar and oil. You know what? The tar and oil one, as I said, is like the cloth one. We are going to need that later. So you know what? I'm going to just hold on to it. A few I'm going to hold on to. Apophis the serpent. According to Egyptian myth, the serpent Apophis attacks the sun god Ra every night, battling it until morning. Priests of Ra reenact the battle by inscribing a wax effigy with the name of the serpent and hacking it into pieces while reciting a spell. And as you can hear, that wax effigy truly is wax. The wax effigy is in it. Where's the canes when you need them? Alright. Most primitive cultures have myths to explain the introduction of death to the world. To the Maoris, death was willed by the goddess. Please forgive me if I slaughter this name. Haini Nuitipo, who sent the spirit journeying across the ocean to the underworld, enclosed in a carved chest. The bodily remains stood guard, frightening away intruders. You know, I thought we were going to have to search long and hard for the top of this pot. Well, fortune favors the bold, I guess. Well, there we go. So now we can capture the tar and oil exupi, because that will show up down in the subterranean world room. Well, let's go in the next room. Nothing there. Nothing there. Oh, look, a dragon. Looks like Spike from My Little Pony all grown up. The Cyclops. Found in a cave in Turkey, this is just one example of a myth founded in truth. The myth says that Apollo killed all the Cyclops with a bow they had forged. Could it be that they really existed and the myth explains their extinction? It's empty? I think there's supposed to be a werewolf showing up somewhere. See the wood? Our good friend the wood exupi will show up there. And there's Pegasus. I wonder when that ornament will get here. Won one of those in a contest. Wasn't that in the intro? Vampire, wolves, monsters. And there's our werewolf. Whatever that is. And lycanthropy, or the act of shape-changing, is universal in all societies. In Europe, man becomes a werewolf. In Africa, a were-lion. In some cultures, in some countries, a man may become any were-animal. And yeah, there's a lot of them out there. Let's see, I've seen they had in when you have a little when you learn this stuff. Monster High has a werecat, a couple of werecats actually. Oh yes, what do we need there again?
Care to refresh your memory?
And if you look here, we've gotten almost every flashback. We haven't gotten Merrick's ghost yet. That's the one that goes in slot 3 here. And of course the finale in the last slot. Let's see. Myth of the Werewolf, Red. We have found all but the legend of the Darrows. Wonder where that is. Blue. Green. Yellow. Red. Lock it in. Oh, I love that music. But before we go to where the music comes from, the janitor's closet. Where the only, as far as I can tell, toilet is. Now, just to give you an idea of what we're looking at here, this is probably the most dangerous room, I would say, in the place when it comes to Exupi. You hear there's an Exupi present, and it is the water one. The cloth Exupi will show up here if we hadn't caught him already. See, we caught him. And he's hiding. There is our water pot. So that's in the janitor's closet. Right. Now we found everything for the water one. We found everything for the tar one. We're carrying the tar one. Pretty much from this point on, everything we find is going to be pots. They're going to be the lids to these pots. And if you were to come in here with the cloth Exupi still loose, as well as the water Exupi, yeah, I really don't want to be attacked by a toilet water Exupi. But this should give you an idea of how dangerous that thing would be let loose in the world. You're going to go do your business in the bathroom and rawr, you're attacked. Of course, the cloth one would be equally dangerous. I mean, let's face it, we all wear cloth. And we'll just leave the janitor's closet, and we will call it a stopping point right there. Because it is crazy. So, until the next adventure where we start going amongst the 3rd floor. And maybe we'll just cover the whole 3rd floor. We'll take care of that then. Take care.
Goodbye.